Hahn.
True story about Ernie. Ernie called me up last week and said, Tommy, I watch your show.
Can I come in?
Tommy,
please,
I watch
please come
your
in.
show every Saturday morning at 11. He watches this show.
What he said
and
was,
he
hey,
said,
I watch you every Saturday at 9. And he thought, hey, Ernie, we're not
but
on at 9.
Ernie wanted to be a guest today. Isn't that cool?
That's
I love Ernie Hahn.
As it should be.
Love you guys.
Does anybody know who Ernie Hahn is? Ernie Hahn is a captain of industry here in San Diego. He's iconic. He is the man that is behind, I'm going to say resurgence, because I grew up in this town and remember how San Diego Sports Arena was until you got involved in it. But it's great to have you, man. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. What a treat. Thanks. That's a quick history. We could go back even further in the whole family.
Yeah, we're going to take it back to a
We're
gentler
here to
time.
move. That's why the windshield's bigger than the rear view mirror. Am I right?
Very good point,
Take us
Rusty.
back to a gentler time, Russ.
Ah,
The year was 1967,
there it was.
and a 100% taxpayer-funded sports arena came to be.
Yes, and there it sat.
And didn't it?
For a long, long time.
All right, very good. That's exactly.
All your life, you knew the sports arena.
Yeah, you know, I grew up in San Diego, and so my earliest memories of the arena were as a kid and going to hockey games. My parents were season ticket holders. They actually had the 2 tickets down in lower level 2 seats. 1 and 2.
Right.
Is that in the middle, I'm assuming?
No, it's the end right in the front, and they were the front 2 row right behind the glass, and then right to your right was the visitors' penalty box. And my mom used to bring a rubber chicken. On the thing, and then when that guy, after fighting, she'd go in and just, you know, up
Do
the
that,
side, they'd start hitting the side. My mom almost caused a couple fights there, but we used to go to those seats, and
I think your dad would agree that your mom caused a couple of fights.
probably a couple. And one of my earliest memories, which is I was walking down. We just gotten some hot dogs, and we were walking to our seats, and I literally got to the 4th row, and I caught my feet a little bit, tripped, and I fell like 2 rows down, and hit the armrest on one of the things, like just dogs in the air.
Yep,
If I had a nickel.
Awesome.
That looked like a yard sale.
Total yard sale, and I'm sitting there and I'm crying. I'm like 6 years old, and I'm just and I go to the front seat, and one of the players on the Quebec team, they were doing shoot-arounds at the time, saw the whole thing happen, and next thing I know, I hear this tapping on the glass.
Oh, no.
And I look up, and the player kind of smiles. He's got no teeth, and reaches over, and he has a puck that he's been doing shoot-around, and gives me. He'd seen the whole thing happen
Nice.
on the visiting team.
Right.
And I just,
Those are the days we had no helmets, no mouth pads, no teeth.
I just remember going, wow, who does that?
And
Nobody
even
does that.
before the glass went up, a lot of fans looked like players because
they
they
had no teeth.
realized we can put something here.
Well, before
protect the puck.
the building is so old, and it goes back that when it first opened up with the goals back in '66, there was no plexiglass. There wasn't plexiglass. It was all chicken wire.
Oh.
So literally, people go up to the side, and people were like grabbing their hair on the other side. I mean, it was chicken wire.
Yeah.
It looks like Russ's backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
kind of like what Russ goes through
I
every
think that's
week.
the Navajo Inn too. Every so often they'll have to do that for some bands up there. Or Mulvaney's out east.
Wait, so you remember as a kid, like the San Diego Rockets, San Diego Conquistadors? I mean, all that
the
stuff?
Rockets were. I remember the early.
Lloyd, World Be Free.
Yeah.
Do you remember the guard
do.
for the Qs? We used to call them the Qs.
By the way,
That's right. Conquistadors.
Oh, that's his,
yeah.
that's his move. Huh?
free. Just
That's
we
exact-
take it up here and.
But I mean,
He was the
Pat
first
Riley.
guy. He was the first guy that, like, you know, Ron Artest, but World Be Free was the first guy. Like,
Yeah.
my name is World Be Free.
Right.
Like,
That's his name.
who
I
does
know,
that?
I remember.
Well,
Russ T. Nails.
Donald Sterling. Donald
I
Sterling.
remember.
Donald Sterling. His first foray into NBA basketball, or was it AB? I'm not sure. This is where
This is
where he took his shirt off after the first game, bare naked shirt from the pants up, and swung it around. This is the owner of the team, of the Clippers, by the way, because it used to be the same.
Clippers came from Buffalo.
That's exactly right.
We have a
glad
mystery.
they did, I bet.
We have a mystery guest ready to go. But before we talk to the mystery guest and try to guess the identity of the mystery
By the way,
guest,
did I mention that Ernie not only is iconic with the sports arena,
Right.
but he also runs a media company, entertainment company called Dream Hahn, and he also happens to be the chairman and CEO of this little music festival downtown called Wonderfront.
Wonderfront.
We only introduced like a tenth of what you are. Now this is the whole
We're out of
thing.
time, but thanks for coming.
Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
speaking of music at the sports arena, speaking of music at Wonderfront, the Sully Band is here, ready
You
to
see the
perform.
guys up there.
Listen to me, Ernie. I know you know Sully from finances and all that stuff. But did you know he can front a band? He can play guitar and sing. I didn't know that till recently. Did you know that?
Well, I saw him a couple years ago, and I still didn't quite know it. But now,
Dude, dude, Sully.
now the band. Every time I see him, Sully, the band gets better and better.
Oh,
He
yeah.
gets better, but the band.
I don't know that
around
I
him-
get better.
No.
The band
These guys
around
get
him is
better.
getting better.
This
so
is-
hats off to you guys.
Well,
This
they
is
get
like-
louder, so you hear less of them.
This is like an all-star band. We're going to do a mystery guest, but before the mystery guest, Sully, will you please go on stage?
I will.
and
If you
perform a
allow me
song?
to very quickly introduce the band once again.
Yes.
All the guys.
Well, first of all, let's do the horn section, because the horn section, of course, from left to right. Trip Sprague, who's played with everybody from, you name it, Kenny Loggins to whatever. Steve Dillard with the Righteous Brothers and such.
There he is.
Kamoka Jarvis, right there.
Love her.
April Leslie, both of them played with Michael Bolton, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Then on stage to the right, from the island of Lemon Grove, Nacho Sobers, also Rusty Nails percussion.
That's
every
right. We'll
Sunday
be at
Mark.
Monarch every Sunday from 3 till sunset. Me and this guy right there. Let's do it.
Trace
Here we go.
Hodgins, the original drummer for the James Brown Band. He's 68 years old.
Oh, man. Doesn't
Yes.
look a day over 40.
James East, who's played with Eric Clapton and Phil Collins, and 3 Grammys, 4 Tonys, a restraining order, and expelled Costco.
I know James's sister.
Yes.
What up?
That's right. And of course, John Harford over here from the Atomic Groove and the Rebecca Jade Band
Everywhere.
joining us today.
Yeah.
By the way, joining us today for the first time, see if you can tell the difference. I don't think you can. And legendary recording engineer, Mark.
All right.
Packers.
So before the mystery guest, Sully, will you please go on stage and what song are you going to do?
I don't know, you guys tell him.
You know what's good, though, is when Sully sings, I like when he sings tenor. Tenor, 11 miles north
Hey,
of here is
everybody.
what I like when
Thanks,
he sings.
that's good.
Hey, everybody.
You are
What a
so
great
funny.
crowd.
We're gonna do. Let's do New Shoes. You can. I think you can download this on Spotify.
Great horns in this song. Great horns.
Yeah, here we go. New Shoes. You want to play New Shoes?
Original?
Ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see ya.
Are you wearing new shoes?
I am. I said I take me walking through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone they take me home. I'm walking in the danger zone. I said I take me walking through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Got myself some new shoes. New shoes on. Got myself some new shoes. New shoes on. Cuando lloro, lloro por lo yuca. Que cuando lloro, lloro por lo yuca. Lloro por lo yuca que no tienen mamá. Y tampoco que no tienen papá. Vagabundo y no van a tener sino fula. Yes, so live a week up to 50 good. So me know how on Tuesdays. I'm looking tired and feeling quite sick. I felt like there was something missing in my day-to-day life. So I quickly opened the wardrobe, pulled out some jeans and a t-shirt that seemed clean. I paired it up with a pair of old shoes that were ripped out of the seam. I said, hey, I'll put some new shoes on, and suddenly everything right. I said, hey, I'll put some new shoes on, and everybody's smiling. It's so excited. I short on money, but a long, long time. Lonely walking in the sweet sunshine, and I know it's late. I don't need no excuse. Wearing my brand new shoes, yeah. Got myself some new shoes. New shoes on, yeah. Got myself some new shoes. New shoes on, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Got myself some new shoes. New shoes on. Run ding dong dong ding ding dong dong ding ding dong dong. Run ding dong dong ding ding dong dong ding dong dong. No matter what the shoe man, when me have on, coulda Puma, coulda Hailey, coulda any one of them. Say size yes, size 7 and a size 10. Say Sully and the soldier, I gon' do it again, mom. Run ding ding dong, run ding 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 dong dong dong. Run ding ding dong ding 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 dong. Woke early one Thursday. I was seeing stars and I'm rubbing my eyes and I swear like there was 2 days missing and I focus on the time. So I made my way to the kitchen. I had to stop from the shotgun, but I found a room full of all of my friends just dancing round and round and round. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. This so excited I jump on money, but a long, long time. Hopefully rolling in the sweet sunshine. And I know it's late, I don't need no excuse. Wearing my brand new shoes, yeah. Brand new shoes. Just like that.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Great song. And while you were doing it, I actually bought some
New shoes on Zappos?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The Girl Scout Cookies has a new line of all their cookies and shoes, and I'm going with the Dos.
That was great.
You know, Sully,
Can I tell you this? Listen, as much as I get all the accolades belong to all these guys and the girls and the guys.
Ecologians.
Honestly.
What do you think of that, Ernie Hahn?
That was awesome.
Huh?
Good stuff.
Really good.
Just like the sports.
So,
Tight band there.
so I have to ask you, and thank you for that. Appreciate that. Anytime I get to perform in my
I'm amazed. I'm amazed
It's
that's
only
you
the
on
second time I
stage.
got to perform here.
Love it.
Honestly,
What a treat for me.
I sense a trend.
Can you give the overview for the entire city who may not have been privy to what a great event you put on in 2019? And the reason it wasn't one in 2020 is because of the crud. Talk about how Wonderfront came, and first of all, what it is for those people who may not know, and then how it came to be.
Well, it's a 3-day festival that my partner Paul Thornton and I put together. It was like 8 years in the making, and really was the catalyst goes back to street scene that a lot of people remember. It was downtown, and it activated. It was 50,000 people a day in its heyday with street scene, and when they moved that to like Qualcomm Stadium in the parking lot, it lost all of its zeal. What the special sauce was downtown.
Yeah.
So we wanted to take that kind of 2.0 version. It was South Embarcadero, North Embarcadero, Roku Park, Seaport Village, Broadway Pier. We partnered with the Port of San Diego, and it's a 3-day festival. So it was the 22nd through the 24th of November. We also push it in November because it's the time where San Diego really needs events. They don't need events in August and September because we're full. And so that was one of the reasons we were, received one of the biggest grants. I think it was the biggest grant ever from the Tourism Authority.
That's nice.
They're a partner with it. You literally can go in and out. During,
Well, that's cool because you can go to the restaurants and the gas.
But that's a big deal. I don't want you to gloss over that. The in and out
That's huge.
thing, because look, it's a big event. It's a big venue, and when you go to big venues in this town, you're there for the day. By the way, you can't bring a cooler. You can't bring anything to drink. But in this venue, if you want to go see the Sully Band and then go get some lunch and come up at night and go see Switchfoot, and then you want to go get some dinner, you want to go see Ernie's Interpretive Dance Group.
We want you to discover new events and new experiences, and then new bands, national bands, local bands. So there was also, from Broadway Pier down to South Embarcadero, you could take one of the flagship cruises back and forth that was included in your ticket price. And we had all local bands that were playing throughout the day on that. So the whole concept discovery started there. And then you guys could all show up at noon on a Saturday when it started and actually watch and learn about new bands, whereas most festivals you don't, because you just don't have 10 hours in you to stay there. We get that. You could show up at noon, hang till 2.
I wish you
wanna
would
go
have
for a
had.
eat?
I wish you would have had skateboarders.
Yeah, like Tony.
Oh, you think?
Like Tony Hawk,
No, like
skateboarders in the world.
No, like Eddie Sablon.
We had that.
No, he had that.
We had three.
Oh, you did.
The 3 major ambassadors that were part of this were Trevor Hoffman, Rob Machado, and Tony Hawk. And so we had the Tony Hawk Boom Boom Huck Jam that was at Roku Park with Tony Hawk and all the best vert skaters. Matt Hoffman, the best vert bike guy in the world. And that was going on while Pennywise and some of his favorite punk bands were playing. It's something forever. We had a Latin stage that had some amazing bands, including Nicky Jam
And the bands have amazing fans. That's the cool part. When I'd go see like a band I didn't know, but I'd look at the people that do know them, and they're a completely different group of people than I would hang with.
So the whole concept was for San Diego, by San Diego.
Yeah.
And the difference being, and some of the stuff we'll talk a little bit later about with Dream Hahn and activating bands and experiences during the year, culminating with Wonderfront, is we're not here one weekend a year.
Right.
We're not from a different area. This is all San Diego all the time. And we want you to think about Wonderfront like you think about the Padres or somebody else, that this is your local brand that's bringing you content during the year and culminating with this one.
But keyword experience. It's not just about watching music. It's an experience, and the way you guys laid it out was experiential. Speaking of experiential, don't we have a mystery guest?
Yeah.
that might work
and
for
and
this right
speaking of San Diego, this mystery guest, it's an honor to have this person up. And we're going to guess the identity by asking the mystery guest yes or no questions.
Okay, Ernie's got to play with us then.
Yes, Ernie, you're going to play.
All right, here we go.
So let's bring up the audio only of the mystery guest. First of all, thank you very much, mystery guest, for doing this. It's an honor to have you on, sir, or ma'am.
My pleasure.
Okay, sir, that one's out of the bag. There's my question. All right, go ahead, Ernie.
Ernie, yes or no question for the mystery guest. San Diego icon.
San Diego icon.
Yeah.
With that kind of
Are you involved with sports or entertainment?
Sports first.
Yes.
Sports first. All right.
First.
Sully?
Okay.
Okay.
Have I ever, me or my band ever been a part of you and your whatever you do?
I don't know. Has that happened?
I don't know who it is. I think if it's who I think it is.
Did you?
Yes.
That could be a question on a question.
Did you buy me a beer at Anthony's in La Mesa in 1978? I'm just reaching here. I'm just really going out.
No, I wasn't here in the 70s.
Ernie.
Okay.
Ernie.
The voice is sounding familiar.
It does.
Voice
sound
sounds familiar.
Is there a chance that I've ever done a big event with you in the past at the sports arena?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So you know who it is.
Who
I can
is it?
tell.
Who is it?
Who is
Come
it?
on.
Who is it? Who
30
is it?
seconds.
He was a pretty good player too.
Oh, who is it?
Miles McPherson.
That's
Yes.
Is it? There he is.
It is.
What?
There he is.
Pastor Miles.
There he is.
Wow.
Miles McPherson. Yes, he was. You know, it's so funny because you asked the question. And he said sports first. I was thinking, does that mean he was involved in? Yes.
He's got such a great voice. You
What's
can't
up,
miss
man?
his
Good to
voice.
see you.
How y'all doing? I said that's Ernie Hahn. Me and Ernie go way back.
That's nice.
Wow, this is great.
Every time
way back, we did a 2-day festival for the youth and about getting everybody straight as Miles was getting rolling with this, and sold out 2 nights. Amazing, changed a lot of these young kids' lives. And you know what? We still got to do it again, my friend, at some point.
So Miles,
More than once.
Miles, stay right there. Let's.
Yes.
I want to keep Miles longer. So Miles, stay right there for a second. Miles McPherson, unbelievable.
Yeah, I have a couple questions for him already.
I have a bunch of questions for
And
Miles.
yes, I have played for you guys. That's why you guys here. All right, on the air. Look at
Miles.
this. We got Ernie Hahn and Miles McPherson,
That's San Diego.
all-star cast today.
Sully, Tommy, Rusty, congratulations on making it to 1 year. You know, guys,
Sully, little Tommy, and Russ, congratulations on making it to a year.
Wow, they made it through a year. They did it.
Hey, it's Clint from 1015 KGB. Happy anniversary to Sully, little Tommy, Rusty Nails on air. It's awesome. Congratulations.
Would you give me just a minute? I gotta tape this thing. This show. Hey.
Hey guys, it's Delana. I just wanted to say congratulations. Happy anniversary. You made it a year.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's the show on Rock 105.3. We've all done the show. Congratulations on 1 year. I honestly didn't even know this thing was on TV.
you know, guys, success is all about chemistry, and you three really have it.
By the way, next time that I do the show, I will be sending you a rider with my lists.
By the way, I know you've had many amazing guests on your show, and Gina and me, Frankie V, were your 2 favorite, right?
Yeah. Hey, just wanted to say congratulations to.
I wanted to say I've enjoyed all of the interviews that you've brought to TV of local personalities.
I thought this was like in Sully's basement. I didn't know that this was being broadcasted.
I mean, you know what? And it's that chemistry that really bodes well for a future. 1 year is good, but how about 2, maybe even more?
In the meantime, cheers and congrats on a year.
Listen to us, okay?
Wow.
Gotta get that plug
It's not
in.
about you, Frankie. It's about them. Congratulations.
Congratulations on a year.
What a show, honey. What an 15, 20 years?
Love you guys and congrats. Mwah.
Sully, little Tommy, Rusty Nails, you guys are the best. Happy 1 year anniversary.
What do you want?
That's, you know what that is? That's Will It Go Round in Circles.
My
Billy Preston.
Billy Preston.
And Nacho Silver's on the vocal on that.
That's
great
cool.
to have you on. Who do we have here? Ernie Hahn. Oh my goodness.
And Pastor Miles McPherson.
Pastor Miles McPherson.
Such a great honor to have all you guys here.
Hey, we have a bunch of questions.
All right,
I want to go first.
All right, go first.
Okay, Pastor Miles. Okay, where do I start? First of all, I love that you motivate thousands, perhaps millions of people all the time. I'm wondering, when I was watching you play football for the Chargers, were you the one at halftime that said, all right, guys, come on? Were you the one that gave those speeches?
Motivational.
I can only assume you were.
Hey, let me tell you something. I was like, if there were 53 guys on the team, I was like 52 on the totem pole. So no, I stuck my mouth and stayed in the back. And there were a lot of other guys who were. When I was playing football, I was not a speaker. They would ask me to go speak at places, and I would say, I'm not a speaker, and I wouldn't go until my last 2 years. But not on the team. I was pretty. I'll say quiet, but I wasn't that guy. No.
I would love to see a local artist have a totem pole of the Chargers. With you, and that would be a great.
40 players.
Okay, well, one more question, then I'll let you guys ask.
Okay.
All right, when you were playing, Miles, okay, you're back there, you're defensive back, you're safety, cornerback. Who was the hardest running back that came towards you that you had to tackle? Like, who did you go, oh my God, here he comes?
Every team had people that were super talented. Sometimes it was a big guy like Earl Campbell, even though I played him late in his career, so he wasn't that menacing when I played him. Yeah. Then you had guys that were like Lionel James, who on our team was 5'6", 180. And I would hate to see that guy because he was so small, so agile, that you would have a hard time even touching him. So everybody had some guys were big and strong, some guys were short and quick. So there wasn't one guy, but I'll tell you one guy that I don't even know his name. I was playing on the punt return, and the gunner, the guy who could run down the guy who could run down. Me and another DB were blocking him, and he was 6'6", 260, and he ran as fast as us. Oh man! And so we're like, what do we do with this Frankenstein dude? So everybody was difficult for a different reason.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I got a question for you, Miles. So obviously, Rock Church has become iconic here in San Diego. And it wasn't always in Point Loma. And by the way, many guys on this stage with me played a couple of your men's nights down there at Point Loma, which is one of the ways you and I met, and of course, being on Kogo Radio with me over the years. Where did you guys start? I don't think people really know the genesis of Rock Church. Talk about that for us.
Yeah, first let me tell you, I love the horns. So all the horn players, I love horns.
Yes.
There they are. They love you too.
That's the biggest saxophone I've ever seen in my life. We started in the year 2000 at San Diego State in Montezuma Hall. We were there 5 years. And in those 5 years, we had to move 33 times. There were 5, 6, 7 times a year we couldn't be in Montezuma Hall. Sometimes we were outside of OAT, downtown, in different hotels around Mission Valley. And a lot of people don't know that. We had no email, no text, no cell phones then. We would pass out a flyer and say, if you come here next week, don't think the rapture happened. We're not in heaven. We're in Mission Valley.
We're there. And since you are involved in religion, my nephew's also Pastor Brian Tallman. I don't know if you know him. But I think with that, your proximity to the Lord, when someone sneezes and you say, God bless you, does it carry a little more weight?
It means it's not COVID, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Are you asking when Miles McPherson says God bless you and you sneeze?
Yeah, I'm thinking, wow, he heard that.
Because he's higher on the food chain?
Because if you say God bless you, he's like, hit the kid.
Because he's higher on that totem pole?
He's up on that totem pole. He's at the top.
Hey, wait, I got another question. I just saw something. Miles, when you're on Zoom, I always look behind you to see what you have behind you.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a photo of two little kids. Who are those two little kids right behind you? Yeah, that
These
one.
guys?
Yeah, who is that?
That's me.
What?
That's me. And that's
cool.
Stephen Broadley. We played Pop Warner 4 years together. If you notice, I was number 21. He was number 42 because he was twice as good.
What city was that in, Miles?
What city,
That
Miles?
was in Long Island, New York.
Wow.
All right.
So in high
Yeah,
school,
West Hempstead High School.
so in high school in Long Island, do you hold all those records? I assume you were like a star athlete, obviously.
I wasn't. I didn't get a scholarship to go to college. I walked on a Division III school. My senior year, our school ran out of money, and we actually had to discontinue our season after 2 games. And then someone donated some money. We finished the season, but I only saw 1 game film, and that was because my father took it. We had no game film.
Wow.
We had 18 guys on the team, hardly no uniforms. We had no money. And so, and I wasn't a great student, didn't get a lot of recruits. We were just a small program, and not like the program literally next to us is where my brother went to school. He was All-American. They were off the chart, and it was just our school was very poor.
Wow. After the commercial break, I have one question for Miles, because all that you just said, how did you become so successful? How did you get to the NFL? How did you get to the Rock Church? Because what you just described was not an easy road.
One more thing, Miles.
Miles?
3.
Band, Sully and the Soldier.
Along with Ernie Hahn and Miles McPherson, Pastor Miles. And I want to ask my question once again to Pastor Miles. Pastor Miles, you just described that's not an easy road that you took to get to the NFL and to get to the Rock Church. What did you have in you to make that happen? Because you're a success story, but it didn't seem like it was an easy road.
You know, I don't know anybody who's successful who hasn't had obstacles. There's nothing easy, and mine is miraculous. It's absolutely unbelievable, and I can't take credit for it. I mean, it was a lot of luck, and I don't call it luck. I call it divine appointment. I was in a Division III school and was telling my coaches and my teammates I'm going to the NFL. I happened to get an agent. I have no idea how I got him, and he ended up being Ernie Wright, who played for the Chargers. In his office, I could see from the practice field. So it was so many miracles and just unexplainable things. My coach sent flyers to every NFL team my senior year. I was the first All-American in history of the school, and then I ended up being drafted. Not one team came to see me play. They drafted me off film.
Wow.
They came after the season was over and watched film, and that's how I got drafted. So it was totally God saying, I want you in San Diego. And I got drafted to the Rams in LA, got cut, came down here and played because somebody got hurt.
Hey, Miles McPherson, will you come in studio with us as soon as your schedule allows? We'd love to have you for an hour here with us. Would you do that for us?
Yeah, at some point I'll come down. Absolutely. We had it scheduled. I was on my way.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you can make it during allergy season, I'd appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Miles
McPherson. Because I got allergies too.
Pastor Miles.
There we go. Miles McPherson. Nice shot. Nice pull. Who did that?
Yeah.
Was that you?
You know what? We got lucky.
All right.
Pastor Miles.
Well,
but we got lucky with Ernie Hahn.
Yeah, we got Ernie Hahn. So, Ernie, we go from the stadium I beg your pardon, the sports arena, Pechanga, to this Wonderfront event. I want to pick up where we left off there, because 2020 there was going to be a Wonderfront up until what, March 1st-ish? And then suddenly.
Yeah, I think we came out with our statement middle of April. We came out earlier than later, just knowing that these things take a lot of time. All the sponsors, all the partners, all the experiential involved. So with that, we took a flyer on 2020.
And now for 2021.
So 2021, I think people are still looking for direction. We've seen a lot of the tours that are coming to the arena kind of push to fourth quarter this year, hoping, but until you get more guidance from where things are going. Now, I think with some of the vaccines that are happening, but I do believe that there's a really sweet window here, because Wonderfront, part of the context of doing Wonderfront in November is it's one of the few places in the world, we get the best weather in the world, where you can come to a festival in November and you can fly in from Buffalo and it's crappy out there or wherever, and it's beautiful. The first year it was 72 degrees during the day. This last year, the same weekend that it would have been, it was 72 degrees. So it's one of the beauties of Wonderfront, and then that also allows this year, potentially, as we hold on.
So you have faith
of 2021. I have faith that,
I think it's happening.
I have faith that we...
There's light.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, and we're able to, I think, to pivot quickly on this. The hardest thing of doing these festivals is the first year. As Sully and I were talking about this. You got to put all of your investment into this thing. You got to create something out of thin air. You're basically building a city within a city. We had 125 bands. We had 7 different stages.
Oh, yeah, spread out.
It was 20-hour days for me for the last 3 months. It just there was not enough time. I mean, I was on KUSI with Tommy 42 times.
Right.
And it was wonderful. I look back at it and I go, San Diego's the big winner. The hardest part's been laid. And now I want all of San Diego and the rest of the world to take this ride with us as we go through this year and the future years. I don't believe there's a better site in the world to throw a festival, and we're excited about it.
Wow.
All right, so I have said on the business side of things that you guys are the second to the last door on the street to open. Obviously, indoor entertainment, a la Belly Up Tavern and such, who's a big part of this program, is going to be the last. But you guys are the second to last. But doesn't it make sense if there's going to be, if you don't find out until, let's say, June, to maybe do an event, but maybe not do as large of an event, just to keep? I mean, would that be a possibility?
That's what Paul and I have talked about this year. Is it's really important that we keep that experience of Wonderfront similar. So having the water taxis and doing that, I think what you would find this year is, my guess is, if we're able to have it happen, it might be at 50% capacity or something. So you might take a smaller footprint. Ends up being like 15,000 people a day. You can pivot on this last second, and then, unlike the first year, which is always a struggle getting people to understand it, I think with the pent-up demand and people knowing what Wonderfront is, I think you can blow through the tickets right away, sell it out in advance.
Can you imagine the pent-up demand for outdoor live entertainment?
And you might be able to go, once you have a little direction, you might be able to go on sale earlier than later. And then I think the plan would be, you have the festival that happens, and you've already then dialed in 2022, and you can announce at that point to the people that buy tickets to 21 get the first crack at 22. And then you announce the 3 or 4 big headliners for 22, and you roll from there.
You know what I want to see?
I don't think you ever look back at
I want to see the Red Bull planes come streaming up and in and out of that bay.
That's exactly right. Love that. Hey, listen, when we come back, I want to talk about your family heritage, and then also some of the charitable work you do, because people know you from Pechanga, people know you from Wonderfront. I'm going to talk a little bit about Dream Hahn later in the program, but I got to talk about the legacy of the Hahn name, as well as the fact that you have a lot of charitable stuff going on that people get involved in. It's Ernie Hahn on the air. You realize this whole thing was an audition. I'm sold.
Little Tommy, me, Rusty Nails. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, for more information on us, you can go to the internet and look for us. We're everywhere.
Speaking of Got to Get You Into My Life, Beatles 1965 and then Earth, Wind and Fire in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
You all know what that song's about?
No.
Got to Get You Into My Life?
Yeah.
Is it religious?
I think it's a religious song.
Religious?
I think it's a religious song.
You know, it was written by Paul McCartney, and it was his love affair with something he used to smoke a lot.
Oh, is that what that is?
Oh, like Puff the Magic Dragon thing,
Yes.
huh?
I don't buy it.
Wow,
No, it is. Look it
James,
up.
is that right? Was that a Paul McCartney that you could
Google that.
I think it was a Paul McCartney thing.
It is a true story.
Hey, by the way, I have one more. I have another one. You know the song?
Okay.
25 or 6 to 4. I'm sure.
Yes, I know it.
You know that song?
I know the story.
Song? Play it.
25.
Play it, 25 or 6 to 4.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Okay, so you have that song's about.
Yeah, got it.
So there's a lyric in that song. He says, sitting cross-legged on the floor.
Right, he is.
25 or 6 to 4.
Yes.
So they were enjoying the same stuff that Paul McCartney was
Right.
singing about.
Yes.
And some guy says, bro, what time is it?
Yeah.
Sitting cross-legged on the floor. He looks back like this. He goes, it's 25 or 6 to 4.
There you go.
I'm not kidding. That's where that came from. Right?
How about the song?
James,
Go.
is that right? James, confirm that for me.
It's confirmed.
That's true. And then the song "Going to Kansas City." This guy, he was going
to Kansas
City, and he wrote the song about that.
All right.
Ernie Hahn
is
our guest.
Ernie.
So happy to have you.
The Hahn name is probably one of the top 5 prominent names in San Diego history.
I'm going to say nationwide history because of what your grandfather did, right?
Tell us about that, because I just know you synonymous to the San Diego Sports Arena, and I know you guys do a lot of charity, but how did the Hahn family get so successful?
Well, my grandpa, Ernie, who I'm named after, I'm the second, and my son's the third. He started off as he was a bank teller, and and then he was working his construction on the side, and he would see some of the developers coming in, and he was also working, some construction, and then eventually he started a general contracting firm, and he knew that the means what the end he was going to be a contractor, but eventually he wanted to be a developer because he saw how it was working. So he started that as general contracting, then got into doing malls. The first mall they did, I was born up in Santa Barbara, and then I came down about a year later to San Diego, was La Cumbre Plaza up in Santa Barbara, was the first mall that he built. And my dad managed that.
It was a shopping mall.
Shopping mall,
Right.
yeah, shopping center mall.
But they hadn't seen anything like that before.
They hadn't seen anything like that, and then we moved down to San Diego because, and it all kind of fits together. They took over the land, and my grandpa, they had built Fashion Valley. So my dad came down to manage Fashion Valley, which got us to San Diego in 1968, and it started there. So my grandpa, then my dad was the president of the Hahn Company, was in charge of all the leasing and all that. My grandpa was just doing amazing things. And in 1980, he sold the company to Trizac. At that time, he had 62 regional malls. So he's kind of the godfather of the common mall. San Diego would be Horton Plaza, University Town Center, North County Fair, Fashion Valley are the malls he did here.
But Ernie, the modern mall was basically invented by your grandpa.
Yeah, he really did that.
You didn't see the Fashion Valleys of the world.
He started CCDC and just all the stuff that you see downtown that was part of that ICSC, which is the shopping center convention, which has become a big deal. So he was really a leader of industry, and I think my dad was amazing. My dad is what got us into the arena business. He had a development company that I started working for, and I think what both of them taught me was not only the hard work, but when you carry that name, there was always a need and a sense for community, for charity, and to give back to your community, because the community gives so much to you. And so mine has been more around sports and entertainment, and that was real estate. I do some real estate on the side as well, and really, I tell my kids this, and my son Ernie, having that name and being named after him, because you usually don't go around going high five somebody named me Ernie. But in this case, I do, because there's people that come to me all the time. I get at least 5 or 10 stories every year. Your grandpa gave me the first $5,000 to do this. I already know how it ends, because these are leaders of industry.
Right.
If it wouldn't have been for your grandpa, I wouldn't have done X.
Right.
And I think that's the legacy that you want to live by, and ultimately helping others and using your resources to do great things.
Well, let's talk about that because you do exactly that. In fact, where's your hack baseball cap there?
It's back in the back. I'll go
All right,
get
go
it.
get it.
And your son Ernie, is your other son Bert? Because that's just weird.
That's hilarious.
That's a good. Thank you. Thanks. A good joke. I'll go get the hat. I'll go get the damn hat.
I've never heard
I
that.
have,
All right,
I
stay
have
back
more
there.
questions. I have more questions.
Wait a minute. Talk about some of the
Well,
charities.
one of the things we did, one of the charities I love to support is called Boys to Men Mentoring. It's in-school mentoring that Joe Segerson and his crew do amazing things. 1,100 different kids in about 36 different schools in San Diego. The best way I can describe it, it's in-school mentoring for the toughest of the toughest kids. They sit around in a circle like AA, and they talk about their problems from 6th grade to 12th grade, and it changes their life. So it's we do all sorts of special events.
Incredible story.
Ernie Hahn. There's more. There's more. We're going to talk about Dream Hahn coming up here. Every time we play this, I got guys tipping me, not girls. Guys say, thanks, bro.
I put a new hat on for this one.
All right, Ernie Hahn's back with us on the air, and of course the Sully Band. Big hand for my kids up there. And
Yeah.
What you don't know is, although it seems like our horns are on stage with us, our horns are actually in another studio here in front of a green screen. These guys are playing in concert together in 2 different locations. Awesome. And it's something I couldn't possibly.
And the drums are electronic, so you don't hear the loud thumping, booming, but it's just.
And Mark Hattersley, the keyboard player, isn't even here.
No, he's over.
So cool.
He's just a hologram.
He's over there at the bottle service.
The coolest thing Arnie's doing is yet to come.
So speaking of music and the iconic San Diego Sports Arena, I went there so many times in the 80s and 90s. Okay, I was a kid in Chula Vista.
Really?
The sports arena was yours. Do you have incredible stories of seeing rock and roll bands in the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, so I started there in 91, and so for the last 30 years, thousands and thousands of shows.
Yeah.
And, going, and I think back on, there's a variety of shows that we can talk about, but, going back to like 92 and Guns N' Roses and 2 nights and them getting on stage at 12:30 at night and finishing at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's the best.
Just, Page and Plant in 95 is another one that, with their 80-piece Egyptian orchestra, and then of course U2 in 2005 opening the Vertigo tour.
And then Peter Frampton with Almost Famous. How was that? Because Almost Famous is kind of you.
Yeah, and we rented out the building for 7 weeks, and they came and rehearsed and did 8 minutes of the film Almost Famous, including the classic scene at the ramp. So. Yeah. The arena stuff.
Classic scene at the ramp. That's right, at the very beginning.
Yeah,
trying to get in.
Let them in,
and that's where you go in too, right? Isn't that where the limos go in?
That's where everybody goes in. So, the arena's been an amazing thing for me. It's introduced me to so many amazing people. We had so many great events. We won 5 championships and Taylor Cups with our hockey team that we own and operate the goals back then. And then it's led into kind of the next, what do you do the next phase as you continue to branch out. We started a company called Dream Hahn. It's an experiential marketing company. Our first big client is Infinium Spirits. We're going to have some of their stuff up next time we come into the studio.
I don't see a bar there. Do you, Russ?
Nope.
I just see a musical wall.
Nothing to see. Move along.
We're helping them out with Templeton Rye, which is one of their main. It's so good, and they own the deck in right field at Petco Park. But every one of our clients, we do kind of these golf festivals that we've done with Caddy Hack, where every hole there's a different live band playing a different. In this case, with Infinium Spirits, there'll be a different one of their spirits at every hole that you can try, a different drink, different food and beverage. It's all about an experience that ties back to San Diego, ties back to a charity, and then gives a brand an upper end because most people can't put that on. But we can do it for them, and then you get brand recognition and loyalty that's part of it. That will be stuff that we continue to grow. And then as we'll give a little tease, the Wonder Bus. The Wonder Bus is coming shortly. The Sully Band will be on it. I can guarantee that.
And we're going to need a trailer for the horn section, I hear.
Because speaking of Caddy Hack, I'm just going to say right now, we will donate our band for one of the holes, and we call 18th hole, right? Yeah.
Got it.
18th.
The
In
hat.
fact, we'll sponsor the hole.
Done.
We'll pay for the hole.
Done.
We'll donate the band.
You know, I surf in the morning, as you know, and Sully and I we've talked about this. I'd come down.
We met in the water.
We met in the water. I come down to the arena. I would take, my shower at the arena in the old days, in the 90s. Hockey players are rolling in practice when we owned the team, but I'd be in there, and you just would be thinking, like, all of the I used to call it the most famous shower in the world, because everybody and all of those stars have been there. They've been there. They've been around that room.
Yeah.
And going back to literally, the Stones and Zeppelin 6 times, and just anybody you can think about. Andrea Bocelli the last couple of years when he's come through. Pavarotti 3 times. And so my real pride and love has been, for 30 years, I've been the curator. I've been in charge of bringing the best entertainment to this old facility that's brought 50 to 60 million people in San Diego to celebrate that. And
thank you.
It's something I love.
Thank you, Ernie Hahn.
Ernie Hahn.
Yeah.
You can't teach that.
Speaking of entertainment,
I'm going to do a segment with you
anytime, guys,
on a regular basis where you bring in some local music that you're featuring, and we'll have you come in and introduce them. Do we have permission on that, Mr. Producer, Mr.
Let's
Hall
do
of
it.
Fame
Let's
producer?
do it.
Hang on. Just, is that cool if we just like
get the
right,
trophies.
right.
You had me at Tommy.
All right, good.
And speaking of entertainment, we've got the Sully Band here with us today. This is On the Air
Well done,
with
kid.
Sully, Little Tommy, myself, Rusty Nails. But Sully Band, you've got to see them live, because, and I haven't done it for like a year and a half. We got to get you guys out.
No, we haven't been out.
big,
I can't remember. When was the last time we played live, James? Do you remember?
on. I know.
Do you remember the last gig? It was like a music festival. It was outside.
This is a real treat that I get to see you a couple times here, huh? This is awesome.
Right.
I love that.
This, like I said, this whole thing was an audition for Ernie. So
You're in.
for Wonderfront, the
You're
Caddy
in.
Hack, and
See
the
how
whole
you
thing.
do
The
the
sports
best.
arena.
And I want to say happy anniversary to April on baritone sax.
That's right.
Because
April
it was
Leslie,
Yes.
as Miles McPherson said, that's the biggest sax I've ever seen.
Yeah.
April Leslie in the horn section right there.
that.
a year ago you called me
We
and
saw
said,
her on KUSI,
Yeah.
and we were talking about adding some females to the stage, and we thought, let's get a couple female singers. And Tommy says, heck with that, I got a female horn player.
Yeah.
And so we reached out to her, and she brought her friend Tomoka Jarvis, and they've been with us for a year now. That's
great.
Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Very good.
So you got one more for us in your repertoire?
I think
Because if it's the song I'm thinking of, the question that is raised in this song is, who's that woman or lady?
Girl.
Girl.
Yeah.
Who's that girl in the green
There's actually a
dress?
story behind that song.
The answer is, it's me in 1969 on Halloween when I dressed in drag with a Phyllis Diller cigarette extension. Here I am.
Man, I didn't need to see that.
Girl in a green dress. Now you know.
Sing it again. This is one of our own. On stage again, it's on the air. Your Tracy's locked in a groove, yeah. On stage again, it's quite a sight to see. All on the move, yeah. And the time starts very slow. Soon as she walked through the door, yeah. I think she's by herself alone. My knees just went to the floor, yeah. I said, who's that girl in the green dress? Oh, girl. Who's into a big mess? She's leaving the bar. Don't man, please turn her around before she walks through the door. Oh, no, don't go. My word, she's back again. She seems to flow through the room, yeah. And as I watch